Hey there, so these were the notes I told you I would do for you. Functions, it's all about functions, and the notes start off right here with a function is a relation where each value from the first set domain, so the first set of values is the domain, that means it's the x values of the problem, is mapped exactly one value in the second set range, y. So all it means is that in a set of values, you have an x and you have a y. So that's a function, okay? Then the next part says the vertical line test is used to determine a relation is a function. You can tell that a relation is a function if there are no vertical lines that intersect points on the graph at more than one point. So for example, Ms. Page drew right here. She drew a graph, and as you can tell, it makes like a C shape. And if I do a vertical line test on that, which she already did, it passes through that line 2 times. So for example, I'm going to do another one right here, and it passes through right here, and it also passes through right there. So this is not considered a function. It is not a function. Okay, so like I mentioned up here, x cannot repeat. This part right here, x cannot repeat. So the x values, since they are on the vertical line, are repeating. So that's why it's not a function. This one is a linear graph, and no matter where I go do a vertical line, I only pass through that line one time. So that is a function. Yes, that is a function. So looking at the representation sample and the little chart down there, it says relation set of ordered pairs. So essentially, what that means is that they'll give you a list of ordered pairs, and from that list of ordered pairs, you're supposed to be able to tell whether or not those values create a function or not. In this one, she put no because x repeats. So all you do is you look at the x values that she circled, and if you look at them, the 1 repeats. So we know that that's not a function because if we were to go and graph that, it would not pass the vertical line test. Okay, the next way that you can tell if x and y values create a function is by having a table. And a table is just like a little bit more unified way to see the x and y values. And if you look at all the x's, none of them repeat. It's 0, 1, 2. And so yes, that is a function because no x repeats. Okay, the next one is mapping diagram. That's whenever you're given 2 ovals, and she labeled the x and y, but that's not always going to be there. So just know that the first value that's listed is always the x, and the second one is the y. Okay, so the way that you can tell that this is a function is because she wrote it out right here next to it. This is how you would write all these points. So 1 is connected to the 7, so that's 0.17. 2 is connected to the 8, so that's 2, 8. 3 is also connected to the 8, 3, 8. But since none of the x's repeat, it is a function. So she gave you another example of how to tell whenever it is not a function. And that's whenever you see 2 arrows coming out of the same number on the x, because that would create 1, 3, which she has right here, 2, 4, and then 2 also goes to 5, so that creates 2 x's, and that is not a function. Okay, and then a graph. And then, so all we do is we use the vertical line test. Here, it does not pass more than 1 dot. Here it does, where Miss Page already marked. And so this is not a function because it does not pass the vertical line test. That's what VLT is, vertical line test. And all you do is you draw a vertical line, and if it passes through more than one x value or more than 1 point, then that means it is not a function. Okay, I'm going to go do the other notes for you now, but that's the end of this, and I will see you on the next one.